In your opinion, for our panelists, what has been the greatest takeaway from your experience with higher education? Is there anything that you would have done differently? And do you have one piece of advice that you'd like to leave this group today with?
Just keep learning. Never stop learning.
Yeah, I agree. I don't regret any of the courses or degrees or whatnot that I have, even if I'm not doing directly them. Like, for example, I started in business school and went into fashion, but like being really confident in Excel has actually been incredibly helpful in my fashion career. And I think spreadsheets can be just as beautifully designed as garments. You just never know, like the sort of skills and language and exposure you have in each of the programs and how they apply to whatever it is you're pursuing.
I think there's a big piece about, so there's definitely learning from your professor, but there's also so much learning that goes on from your peers. And that was a huge benefit, is just you're around other smart people who care about similar things, and just taking advantage of that as much as possible during and after. And it's interesting in this new online education world, like I'm just starting a job fully online, like how can I build those relationships without, going to the bar with a group of new friends? I think thinking about that and how you're going to make sure you're getting that part of the experience, because it's just such a great, valuable piece.
I feel like it's really important for me, at least as a business advisor, I feel like academics you're not just buying the education. Like, yes, you're learning from your peers and things like that, but a lot of, like Sarah said, she's had a lot of benefit from the program regardless of how expensive it was. One of the benefits to me is that network, and you are purchasing something. And I think especially women can oftentimes reflect on, like, you get in and then the program is giving you something. And I saw it as a transaction. I was there to get what I needed, which included the network. And that has been extremely beneficial for me. And it helped me wrap my head around the cost. I do want to make sure people understand, if you're thinking that I see some financial aid stuff, my program, because it was international, traditional fundraising for your expenses is not accessible. I had to take out personal loans to do my program, which meant that I needed to be in a place of privilege where that was accessible to me, not only because I had some money to start my program, but I could access the credit that I needed to. But I aggressively paid it down because I was thinking very strategically about the program and what I was trying to get out of it from a transactional nature. And that sounds totally cold-hearted, but you're not just getting the diploma, or you're not just getting the education, the educational experience. You're also building a network that's going to be valuable to you forever. And then to the lifelong learning, I believe master's programs in particular, and now we're seeing it with PhDs, they're just another thing. So if you're not doing it and seeing lifelong learning, and that there's all different kinds of programs and certifications and experiences that you can dive into, all of that, like, we can all have Caroline's list of things, and that helps you have a competitive edge, but it also grows your worldly experience, which is where the real value is, in my opinion.
And tied to that, I agree, Gretchen. And a couple of things that I wanted to say is, one thing that someone told me at the beginning of grad school was like, listen, it's not going to solve all your problems, but it's a ticket to a party. And then you have to get to the party and you've got to make the connections and figure it out. And that really stuck with me. It was like, okay, yeah, like I'm earning my own invitation here. And then another thing that has really been meaningful to me is and I'll share it with y'all, I didn't know that grad school was different than undergrad. I thought that you would just go sit in a classroom and there would be a lecturer giving you the lecture and there'd be PowerPoints and you'd take notes and go home. And my experience wasn't like that at all. It was, okay, you have a year, come up with a problem and solve it. Like, holy shit. Like, I wasn't ready for that. So it took me months to flip that model in my mind, that I, as the student, was going to be the one to have to really teach myself and find my own path with a new framework.